put boxing first and go out there. They're a very good team. You want to win, they're winners. If you want to win, surround yourself with winners. Spoke to Eddie, spoke to family, everyone said it's a good idea.
2024-25, Anthony with Usyk training together. 2026-27, Anthony undisputed champion. Good idea. Usyk help, signed. AJ, G, you undisputed champion 2027. It's possible.
How is Anthony doing mentally and physically at the moment?
I think be better because physically good, mentality I think good because we speak every day. We're training 2 times. I know, Anthony, this is champion. Yes, Anthony now don't have belts, but for me it doesn't matter. AJ, it's possible. You undisputed champion in 2027. I know mistake Anthony, but we work about this and we delete mistake in Anthony, delete mistake in Mike. It's my partner, it's my brother, AJ, G.
Good. No, it's good. The IBF do what they...
Breaking news that has shaken the entire heavyweight division. Oleksandr Usyk has walked away from every single title he holds, and he has done it for one man only, Anthony Joshua. No fight, no defeat, just pure respect. This is the kind of moment boxing rarely sees, and Anthony Joshua's reaction says it all.
Oh, come on. Let's say Usyk was in that position, he would want to carry on. There's no question that any fighter in that position would want to carry on. But it's unfortunate refs have such a big deal in the making or breaking of one's career. We've seen...
You're helping AJ. I see it. I feel like you and AJ, the relationship has now become like this. And I saw that you wrote down on the board, AJ, undisputed.
Yes. I believe.
You believe that?
Yes, I believe this because I know this is machine. Now he must work, he must change and like this, but I believe it's possible.
Hearing Anthony Joshua speak like this proves this respect was never fake. Usyk pushed him to get better, and now Usyk has stepped aside so Anthony Joshua can finally wear the crown. That is not a rival talking. That is a real brother clearing the path for family.
I think Usyk's the best, one of my favourite fighters. I rate him highly. But he just said that he wanted to see me get better. And it was my mate. I was training down Finchley. And my mate was like, why are you training down here on your own? I was like, I can't.
Spencer Oliver nails it here. Usyk does not need to prove anything else. His legacy is already cemented among the greatest heavyweights ever. And walking away now, handing everything over for Anthony Joshua, only makes that legend even bigger.
Whatever it was, he didn't look Usyk of old, and he probably recognises this is maybe the time to check out. You're talking about legacy, you're talking about now he's financially secure, he'll go down in the history books as one of the greatest to ever do it. And who can argue with him? He's vacated the belts, he's had that time to think, he wants one and done, one and he's checking out. That may be a rematch with Rico Verhoeven, who knows, but I don't think I see him boxing any of the contenders coming up. He doesn't want to damage that legacy, and you know, I think it's a good move for him at this stage.
Eddie Hearn is right. This opens the door for everyone. But let's be clear, none of those names carry the weight Usyk carried. This move was never about the belts scattering around. It was about Usyk personally clearing the path straight to Anthony Joshua.
Great news for the contenders. And actually, to be honest with you, great news for the division because I think we're going to see some interesting things throw up. I mean, if you look at the WBA, it's Gassiev against Jarrell Miller for the world title. If you look at the IBF, it's Frank Sanchez, who actually called us today about Joshua because he's in the line. And I said, unfortunately, we got a contract to fight Prenger and Fury, so we're out. So I think it's Sanchez against Yalalov for the world title, which is a bit crazy. But that, I mean, yeah, but that's okay. Like, then you've got Wardley and Dubois, obviously fighting for the IBF. And then you've got Itauma, maybe they make the Hrgovic fight for the vacant title. So you're going to be in a situation where you could have, 4 world champions, which I don't mind, as long as they fight each other, but they're not massive names either. So you could see some unifications and some great matchups. Then you've got the Fury-Joshua winners going to be looking to fight for the belt. So I actually think it's really exciting.
What a career indeed. Wade Plamine says it perfectly. Usyk did the honorable thing instead of sitting on belts he was not defending. Cruiserweight and heavyweight domination, and now one final gift to the sport, clearing the way for Anthony Joshua.
He deserves his shot. I understand it. But if this is, this is it for Usyk, one more fight, and we'll talk about retirement after that fight, but what a career. I applaud him for stepping aside if he wasn't going to defend the belts. I was one of those guys that was a little bit frustrated that he was fighting Rico for the belt and that Caballero wasn't getting to get shot, right? And that Daniel Dubois, he had to vacate one of the belts so Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley could fight for it. And then you had Joshua coming back, and Moses Itauma was there, and just these younger guys that were going to come up, and Usyk was clearly not going to fight. I was sitting here going, if you're not going to fight him, then drop the belts. And he's dropped the belts, so I have nothing bad to say. Congrats to Oleksandr Usyk on a legendary career at both cruiser and heavyweight, one of the best of all time. But now,
Simon Jordan calling Usyk the elite of the entire triumvirate, above Fury, above everyone, tells you exactly why this decision means so much. The best of his generation stepping back at the perfect time, and Anthony Joshua is the one who benefits.
So I think it's the right move for Oleksandr Usyk. I think it's the next generation of boxing. I don't think heavyweight boxing needs Oleksandr Usyk. He's got another generation of fighters coming through. But we are about to see the last swan songs of this triumvirate of Fury, Joshua, and Usyk being, with all due respect to Tyson Fury, the elite of the lot. And I think it's the right time to go, I think, from holding the world title belt.
And there it is, Tyson Fury doing what Tyson Fury always does, throwing insults instead of respect. While Usyk is out here making history and gifting his career to Anthony Joshua, Fury is stuck hurling abuse. It says everything about the difference in class between these two men, and honestly, it makes Usyk's grace look even more impressive by comparison.
Usyk, you little shithouse. You proper little shitbag, bog-eyed, gappy-teethed, ugly little rat bastard. You little slimy fucker. Tried all...
Interesting angle from Liam Goff here. Dana White circling, and a possible Wilder fight on the horizon. But whatever business moves are happening behind the scenes, the headline stays the same. Usyk vacated everything, and Anthony Joshua is the man standing to inherit it all.
It is therefore a logical move for the unified world heavyweight champion as he enters the twilight of his career. There is a contract there, and interest exists from Dana White and Zuffa Boxing, Lappin told TalkSport. Details aren't for the public right now. Let's say a few doors are opened, and if the format, numbers and timing align, the market could see a move nobody expected. Absolutely true. I mean, really didn't see this. Everyone is seeing what Dana White did. He turned old MMA into the global UFC machine. He really truly did. His real power is packaging not just a fight, but an event. If he gets involved, the scale and attention immediately becomes different. The fight at the top of Oleksandr Usyk's hit list is a clash with Deontay.
Fair point about the Rico fight being closer than expected, but even a tougher than usual night does not erase what Usyk has achieved. Skipping Cabello might annoy some critics, yet the man still walks away undefeated at heavyweight, handing the throne straight to Anthony Joshua on his own terms.
Many people had been calling for him to retire for quite a while now, as his in-the-ring performances have started to decline. We saw that in his most recent outing against Rico Verhoeven. He got the win, yes, but it was a controversial finish, and Usyk, it was the most he'd struggled with a heavyweight in the ring, I think it's fair to say. He had already vacated his WBO world title, and in doing so avoided his mandatory against Fabio Wardley. He was permitted to take that Rico fight, but next up would have been the WBC and a fight against Agit Kabayel. It was one that I was really intrigued to see, but we're now not going to get that, and it would have been interesting to see it because Kabayel would have been a very, very genuine test, and I was also excited to see just how good Kabayel is. He really needed that really top test so we could know, is this guy actually a top 1, 2, maybe 3 heavyweight in the world? But regardless, Usyk has made his decision, and now we need to work out what this means for each of the belts, what this means for the potential matchup.
Oleksandr Usyk relinquishing all titles, including the Ring Magazine title. No more defenses. He's just chasing glory, whatever that means. What does that mean? When you first hear it, what's your reaction?
Well, my reaction is that when you're not going to face, when you're a unified champion and you're not going to face one mandatory, you know, it's a little bit easier to vacate all the belts than to answer the questions. And I think he's probably in a position where he's like, I've done so much in the sport, I don't want to be told who I've got to fight. Do you know what I mean? I want to do my own thing. I don't know when I'm going to fight. I want to fight when I want to fight. I don't want an order that says I have 30 days to negotiate and the fight must take place in 90 days. Do you know what I mean? And if he's going to rematch Rico, which I would, if I was looking after Usyk, I would be telling him to do, that's his last fight anyway. So...
would you?
Oh, without doubt. Without doubt. I mean, why would you fight Caballel and defend your title? It's a very tough fight. Like, I think financially you can make more money to fight Rico. There's a bit of controversy there. There's a few unanswered questions. I think he wins very comfortably in the second fight. You can do something in Amsterdam, which would be, like, iconic. And I think he's done, isn't he? He's like, you know, this is him saying, one more and thank you, boxing.
This is the human side of the story that people forget. 200 million earned, a family missing him at home, and still Usyk could beat every heavyweight out there according to Ade Oladipo himself. That makes this decision even more special, a legend choosing family and legacy over one more paycheck, and gifting the throne to Anthony Joshua instead of squeezing out every last fight.
It's difficult to retire when, I guess, the numbers been chucked in front of you are big numbers. Like, you always make more money towards the end of your career than you do obviously in the middle and the beginning. And now Oleksandr Usyk, I'm guessing, has made more money than he ever dreamt of. And when the offers are still there and the numbers are still big, it must be difficult to say no when you genuinely believe that you can still beat those guys. But how much is enough? How much is enough? Like, Oleksandr Usyk must have, what number? 200 million? Would you have said that? Oleksandr Usyk has taken away 200 million in his career? That's it, right? Every time I've sat down with him and spoke with him, he always, every time he brings up his wife and kids, he always seems to kind of have a heavy heart talking about them, like he doesn't want to leave them. And obviously he leaves them to go into training camp. Well, make the decision, dude. Make the decision. I hope he retires. That being said, I still think he can kick the arse of all the heavyweights out there. Italma, Caballel, whoever, Wardley, Dubois, whoever, AJ, Fury, whatever. But I think he should call it quits, personally. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section.
Liam Goff raises a fair technical point about the Caballel situation, and it is worth acknowledging that not everyone will agree with every step of this decision. Some will say Usyk avoided a genuine mandatory test. Others will argue the WBC had not officially ordered it yet, so technically nothing was dodged at all. But here is the thing people keep missing. Legacies are not built purely on ticking every single mandatory box. They are built on how a fighter carries himself when the cameras are off and the belts are on the table. Usyk has already beaten the very best of his era at both cruiserweight and heavyweight, cleaned out divisions that other fighters spent entire careers chasing. And even the debated Rico rematch talk only proves how much respect this man commands, even in retirement conversations. Whatever critics want to nitpick about timing or technicalities, the bigger picture remains untouched. Usyk chose to step aside gracefully and hand the keys of the heavyweight division straight to Anthony Joshua. And that generosity says more about his character than any mandatory defense ever could.
I suspect, and I still stand by this, that the last dance for Oleksandr Usyk is quite simply just going to be the Rico Verhoeven rematch. I think that's what he wants to do. I think he wants to tie that loose end up. I think given the fact that, yeah, look, Caballel was his mandatory, given the fact he's vacated the WBC along with the others, I suspect that won't hinder him in his legacy moving forward. You know, technically the WBC never officially ordered it. You know, he was mandatory, but it hadn't been ordered yet. They had till Tuesday, I think, and then, you know, they were going to step in and stuff like that. So when all's said and done with Usyk's career, the whole Caballel thing, that might be, and especially let's say Caballel doesn't have really, if Adji Kabayel, say, loses his next fight or loses a couple of fights, then people, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, and I don't think it's a good thing, but people would be like, oh, well, he would have lost anyway, so there's no point. So he did the right thing not fighting him because he just would have beat him anyway. And people we see it happens all the time, all right? So that might be the one little bit of thing that Usyk maybe has, that maybe some people will say after the fact, but who knows. But the Verhoeven fight, how competitive it was, and the ending of that fight, yeah. Look, watching it live, I didn't know, because I didn't have the commentary on, so I didn't know the bell had already went. It did seem premature to me.
Radio Raheem puts it perfectly here. This has genuinely never happened before in the history of the sport. An undefeated, undisputed, lineal heavyweight champion voluntarily walking away from every single belt while still active, still unbeaten, still chasing glory on his own terms. WBC, WBO, IBF, WBA, Ring Magazine, all of it gone in one single decision, and he did it without ever losing a fight for any of them. That cryptic message about still pursuing glory only adds more mystery and more respect to this whole situation, because a normal fighter clings to titles until they are physically forced to let go. Usyk let go voluntarily, undefeated, at the very top, purely so Anthony Joshua could have his shot at the summit. That is not just unprecedented, that is legendary behavior, and it cements Usyk's name even higher in boxing history than any single belt ever could.
Steals the show in the news cycle. He comes on to his social media. He has posted on Instagram in his story that he is right now prepared to vacate all of his world titles. That is right. Oleksandr Usyk is vacating all of his world titles in addition to the Ring Magazine title. However, he claims he has not finished boxing. He is still in pursuit of glory, leaving that cryptic message, not really sure what that means or how that glory will be pursued. But Oleksandr Usyk, as of this moment, is no longer the WBC, the WBO, the IBF, the WBA, the Ring Magazine. Of course, he is the lineal undisputed champion. Obviously, Daniel Dubois is also world champion, but Usyk has never been beaten in the ring for any of those world titles. I don't know that there's ever been a situation like this where an undefeated, active heavyweight champion, lineal undisputed, unified champion, voluntarily gives up all of his world titles to pursue glory by whatever definition.
Let's really sit with what just happened here, because this is not your average boxing headline. What is truly at stake is the entire shape of the heavyweight division moving forward. Every belt Usyk once held is now floating. Contenders are scrambling, and right in the middle of it all stands Anthony Joshua, handed a golden opportunity by the very man who once beat him twice. If Anthony Joshua steps up and grabs this moment properly, unifying whatever comes his way and honoring the gift Usyk just gave him, this becomes one of the great redemption stories in modern heavyweight boxing. Imagine Anthony Joshua lifting world titles again, not through controversy, but through the respect and generosity of a man who is arguably the greatest of this entire era. But if Anthony Joshua fumbles this chance, if he cannot capitalize on a gift this rare, the boxing world will not let him forget it. This is not just an opportunity, it is a responsibility now. One final gift from Usyk that Anthony Joshua has to prove he deserved. Mentally, there is no question who is stronger right now. Usyk walks away at peace, undefeated, respected, and generous in victory. Anthony Joshua carries pressure, the weight of expectation, and the emotional debt of a friendship that just changed his entire career. Who wants it more? Anthony Joshua absolutely has to, because chances like this do not come twice. So tell us honestly. Do you think Anthony Joshua can live up to this gift from Oleksandr Usyk? Drop your predictions below. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next chapter of this incredible story. And let us know, is this the greatest act of respect boxing has ever seen?